call to order the City Commission meeting. This the 28th day of October 2024 at 6 p.m. Can I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Dawson.
Here.
Commissioner Mercer.
Here.
Commissioner Dantzler.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Yates.
Here.
And Mayor Birdsong.
Here. We will have an invocation by Pastor George, guest person of Christ Community Church, and we will be led by the Pledge of Allegiance by Vanessa Castillo. Please stand if able.
Would you pray with me, please? My Father, the Bible teaches us that the leaders above us have been placed there on purpose by you, and it's our responsibility to pray for them. And so tonight, that's exactly what we do. Before this meeting begins, I ask that you bestow on them wisdom and vision and patience and health, and most of all, Lord, eyes to see and ears to hear, not just in the physical realm, but the spiritual realm as well. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen. I think we're going to stay up here and then go down.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
It didn't sound like you had anything.
I thought we handed out the diploma. We handed out the diploma.
They want us to stay here and then come down. All right. Presentations, City University Class 3 graduation.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Before we bring the class up to actually graduate, I just want to kind of run you guys through what they've been through in this program this year. They have been a great class. They're already very involved. We've got 2 already on boards, another one that's applied for a board, and another that's expressed interest in working with us. So very excited about this group. They've been a good one. So we retooled this, we revamped it a little bit this year. We went from 6 sessions to 8 sessions. So they started with the How'd We Get There, which is our history of Winter Haven and kind of setting the stage. Then they learned about growth and what that means for our operations and our city, how we manage that, living your best life. This was a new one, the makings of a city commission meeting, so they got to come in and hear from AJ how we put together commission meetings and then actually attend a commission meeting. Then they heard what's it like on the inside, big dreams for our future, and the new session kind of broke finance and airport out into their own session so they had more time to do a deeper dive into finances. And then the final session of keeping the curtain pulled back where they got to learn about sunshine law and also do a final closing debrief with the city manager and deputy city manager. So as you know, we always do a before and after survey with our classes, so I want to share a few of the questions and show you guys some before and afters. So we start out by asking them how knowledgeable they feel they currently are about how city government works. So this is the before, mostly in the somewhat knowledgeable, slightly knowledgeable, not at all knowledgeable. After, and they just took this survey last week after their last session, they feel extremely knowledgeable and moderately knowledgeable. So I think we've moved the needle there. A couple other highlights there. City finances and financial management. There was nobody in extremely or moderately, and we've bumped them all up to there. So good job with the finance one. Growth management in the city, again, mostly moderately down to not at all knowledgeable, and we've definitely bumped them up as well. How knowledgeable do you feel about how we manage our natural resources? Again, move them all up to extremely or moderately knowledgeable. How knowledgeable do you feel about what it's like to work for city government? Most were down in the bottom there. And after a very interactive HR session, I think we bumped them up. We asked them about sunshine laws. Did they know what that was? And this was before they had any classes with us. And afterward, they've moved up to the top half as well. Public safety, they were kind of spread out across the board. We actually have a couple public safety of our staff members in the class. But again, we moved them up into that moderately and extremely knowledgeable as well. And finally, how do you feel about how decisions are made? Do they understand how decisions are made in city government? I think we were able to shed some light on that for them throughout all 8 of the sessions as we talked through our processes and how we work. We did ask them, after taking the class, what do they think city staff do well? They said, genuinely, these are the kind of patterns that came out of it. There's a genuine care for citizens, data-driven decision-making, transparency and communication, inclusion, financial management, and just putting time, thought, and expertise into all decisions across departments. And the class's takeaway when we asked them what they think the biggest challenges over the next 10 years will be, I think growth, infrastructure, and water, no surprises there. A lot of them brought up balancing that small town feel, that exceptionally local feel with progressiveness and innovation, and then housing of all types came up as well. So with that said, commissioners, if you would like to come down, we will bring them in and they will graduate and then we will do a group photo. All right. In alphabetical order by first name, Amber Harrison. Ann Perro. Beth Kuhn Spiewak. Betsy Cleveland. Carol Pope. Carrie Ann Lucas Grady. Cecilia Leonard. Selena Jerome. Christy Saunders. Gabby Gardner. Gio Andracchio. Gigi Cortez. Grisel Pena. Heather Pellegrino. Jay Patel. Joseph Hovespian. I don't think I did that right. Joseph West. Justin Mincer. Catherine Grajales. Krista Medley. Mark Kennemuth. Pauline Crowell. Ruth Quintana. Sandra Lambert. Shantice Brown. Tatiana Tressler. Tom Garthwaite, and Vance Monroe. All right, you guys ready? Look, you got right your places. All right, hang on, sorry. All right, on the count of 3, right here. 1, 2, 3. One more. All right, I love the rest of your paparazzi. So. Thank you guys for sticking with us for 8 weeks and being so engaged. You're a great class. We appreciate you.
Betsy. I always get
Sir? Doing good, thanks.
They look similar. Hello there, how are you? Congratulations. I did, after my great coffee. from Racetrack. I saw him this morning at Racetrack.
Okay, Commissioners, you have several sets of minutes. I'll entertain a motion. We have no developments of note.
Mayor,
I'll make a motion.
approve that we approve all minutes as noted by the agenda.
All right, thank you. I will close the City Commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak to any of these minutes may do so at this time. Seeing none, I close the public hearing, reopen the City Commission meeting. All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposes by the same sign. Hearing none, the minutes are adopted. We have no comments from the audience. However, if there's someone here that would like to address this commission that didn't sign up, you may do so at this time. Seeing none, ordinance's second reading, O-2430, would you read by title only, City Attorney?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance number O-24-30, an ordinance amending ordinance 23-25, the 2035 Winter Haven Comprehensive Plan by revising the future land use map series by assigning neighborhood suburban future land use to an annexed parcel, repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for the administrative correction of scrivener's errors, and providing an effective date. General location, a parcel generally located north of Ware Avenue Northeast and south of Lake Smart. The area covered by this request is 56.74 plus or minus acres. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager?
Honorable Mayor and Commissioners, I'm going to ask that our Director of Economic Opportunity and Community Investment, Eric Labby, present this item this evening, and along with its companion ordinance that deals with zoning.
Yes, sir. So ordinance O-2430, which was just read into the record, this fact sheet also pertains to ordinance O-2431, which is the requested zoning district. It is a request to assign neighborhood suburban future land use and R3 zoning to a 56.74 acre parcel. This parcel was annexed into the city on April 8th, 2024. The petitioner proposes to develop the property with approximately 210 single-family residential units. Property is zoned R3 and located within central urban core, permitted to be developed up to 15 units to the acre. However, when R3 zoning standards are applied, including rights-of-way, stormwater requirements, and the existing Duke easements, which traverses the southern and western portions of this property, are considered, it would be unlikely for the subject property to be developed at or near the maximum permitted density. This item, the future land use ordinance, was transmitted to the Florida Department of Commerce. After review of the requested ordinance, Florida Commerce issued a letter on September 12th indicating they had no comments to the requested future land use amendment. Likewise, the South Florida Water Management District issued a no objection letter. The Florida Department of Environmental Protection issued a letter indicating they expected no adverse impacts to anything within the FDEP's jurisdiction. Central Florida Regional Planning Council issued a letter indicating no adverse effects are expected, and the Florida Department of Transportation provided a letter stating no significant adverse impacts to transportation resources are anticipated. The surrounding uses are noted in your fact sheet. Specifically, this property is surrounded by citrus groves to the east, the Hilltop Church of Christ and single-family residential to the south, single-family residential to the west, and Lake Smart to the north. Additionally, there are other residential developments, including townhome developments and multifamily developments around Lake Smart. There is adequate capacity with all supporting infrastructure that is denoted in your fact sheet to include water, sewer, and transportation. Public school concurrency is determined at the time of final platting for subdivision by the Polk County School Board. Prior to annexation, this property was zoned RL3 in the county. The requested neighborhood suburban future land use is consistent with the surrounding city uses and designations, and the requested R3 zoning district is consistent with the neighborhood suburban future land use designation. There is no direct financial impact to the city. This is a routine land use and zoning assignment associated with normal operations of the city. It is most aligned with responsible government strategic pillar. The Planning Commission did hear this on July 9th and voted to recommend approval of this. 8 members of the public did speak with concerns related to traffic, potential noise, impacts to Lake Smart, density, and safety. In conclusion, the assignment of neighborhood suburban future land use in R3 zoning district is consistent with surrounding uses and designations, and there's sufficient public infrastructure capacity to accommodate the request. Staff does recommend the City Commission approve ordinance 02430 and its companion 02431. Stand for any questions you may have.
Thank you. Commissioners?
Mr. Mayor, motion to approve on second reading and public hearing, 02430 and 31.
We just do 30.
Just do 30?
Yes.
Okay.
I will close the City Commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak to this ordinance may do so at this time by coming forward, stating your name and address for the record, and you have 5 minutes.
Thank you. For the record, my name is Shelton Rice. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Peterson and Myers, address 225 East Lemon Street, Lakeland. Oh, you want me to start over? Mayor, thank you. For the record, my name is Shelton Rice, an attorney with the law firm of Peterson and Myers, address 225 East Lemon Street, Lakeland, Florida. Today, I'm here on behalf of the applicant. This is the last step in the entitlement process. We annexed the property, as Mr. Labby mentioned, in April. The city approved the annexation. We had public hearings before the Planning Commission. Planning and Zoning Board ultimately voted in favor, recommend approval of this request. This has come before the City Commission once before, and it was voted to transmit up to the state. So I'm happy to go through the request, explain exactly what we're doing. As to the public comments that were from the initial hearing, there were some questions about transportation. Those things, certainly concurrency will be evaluated when we get to that stage in the development process. This client is intending to develop a single-family detached residential community. So the densities at 15 units per acre is not their intent. This is the same client that I represented before this board on the Reserve at Lake Parkhurst project, and we received very similar, if not the exact same entitlements. We also indicated at that time we were doing a single-family detached project, and that's what he developed. So much closer to 3 to 4 units per acre is what's actually been approved for construction plans on that site. So some history there, hopefully, at least shows his intentions are oftentimes true. This project we think is appropriate. We recognize there's issues related to transportation that will be addressed at that time. But anyway, I think that pretty well covers it. If you have any questions for us or concerns, I welcome an opportunity to respond to those. And if there's any public comment, I'd like an opportunity to respond to that as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else from the public that would like to speak? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, reopen the City Commission meeting. Is there any discussion?
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Can you remind me, Eric, like the access points, or that hasn't been determined yet, like how to get in and out from, like they wouldn't send everybody out to the west, right? I would imagine you've got to come down either 9th or 11th or.
Right, so they do have frontage along Ware. I anticipate, some folks would travel to the west out Avenue Y to Lucerne Park. There's also that 11th Street right-of-way to the south. Our comprehensive plan also requires them to stub out future rights-of-way for anticipated future roads. As you may recall, the Willowbrook subdivision dedicated right-of-way for a future north-south road. So we anticipate when the orange groves to the east come in for development, we would require connecting roads between all of these subdivisions to further disperse the traffic. Again, that will be evaluated, as the specific projects come in the concurrency process, but our comp plan does require those.
Is that at final plat approval where they would determine the access points?
During the site plan
During the
review
site
process.
plan review process?
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. But certainly there's no way possible it would only be in and out from the west.
Yeah, in fact, they're required to have 2 connections.
Okay, gotcha.
And any subdivision over, I think it's 50 lots has to have at least 2 connections.
Okay, thanks.
Anyone else?
There was only the ingress and egress coming off of Ware, though, is that correct? Into the subdivision itself?
They currently have, their frontage right now is on Ware. Yes, sir.
Specifically, is it, because those, you have the Ninth Court, I'm just curious as to where that probably would be in order coming in.
Yeah, the exact locations of those access points are not determined yet, but their frontage existing today is on Ware. So there would be a connection, I would anticipate, on Ware.
So what you have, you're going to actually double the size of what, well, it's going to be equivalent or more than what's at Ninth Court, on the Ninth Court streets, like Lane Court and Street. That's 200, you said how many units in there? 200 and what?
210.
210? And you said what, four homes per acre? How many acres? is in
Just
there?
shy of that, 3.7.
3.7. I know that the citizens that did come were concerned about the traffic. Traffic is on Avenue T, excuse me, not Avenue T, but Martin Luther King, sorry, is quite busy. And I was on that road just recently, and I had to wait probably 4 light changes to even get to Lucerne Park and at First Street. So it's picked up a great deal. So it's probably going to be a significant impact, I'm sure.
Commissioner Dollarson, just to put context here, this particular request is just the land use, so it's a quasi-legislative deliberation. The next ordinance will be the zoning, and that's the quasi-judicial. And I don't know that there's any evidence before the commission this evening that would be considered competent or substantial evidence that would allow for you to find anything as it relates to the transportation
I
issues.
wasn't really trying to find anything.
Right.
I'm just really making note.
Sure.
So, yeah, thank you for that. But I didn't want to be in any adverse. I'm just acknowledging a fact.
Sure.
So,
Anyone else? All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposes by the same sign. Hearing none, O 2430 is adopted. O 2431, would you read by title only, City Attorney?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance number O-24-31, an ordinance amending Chapter 21 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Winter Haven, Florida by assigning multifamily residential low-density R-3 zoning district to an annexed parcel, repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for the administrative correction of scrivener's errors, and providing an effective date. General location of parcel generally located north of Ware Avenue Northeast and south of Lake Smart. The area covered by this request is 56.74 plus or minus acres. Thank you.
Thank you. As previously stated, this is zoning, so I entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
motion to approve ordinance O-24-31 on second reading.
thank you. I will now close the commission meeting and open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak to O 2431 may do so at this time by coming forth, stating your name and address for the record.
Thank you, Mayor. For the record, Shelton Rice, attorney with the law firm of Peterson and Myers, address 225 East Lemon Street, Lakeland, Florida. Just a couple of additional points. The subject property, we've started to go through some of the preliminary engineering on the site, and it's approximately 203 units based on kind of our latest unit count, so a little bit less than what Mr. Labby had indicated from a prior concept plan we had provided to staff. So that's one item there. We recognize transportation and those issues we're going to have to work through. We're aware of that. We do think long-term, there's some potential benefits here with the east-west connection kind of farther to the northern side of the site to help alleviate and address some transportation concerns in the area. But we think this zoning is appropriate. We've evaluated it. It provides some different lot types and products, but the overall density of the project that we're proposing at 203 units per acre is approximately 3.7 units or 3.6 units. I have a table and a graph that shows in my presentation that I can get into if you'd like, but it kind of shows to the south of the property is around 4 units an acre, to the west is around 3, southwest is close to 3.5, so we're pretty consistent from that standpoint. There is a 100-foot utility easement for Duke, so they have a big transmission line that runs along our entire southern boundary and western boundary. So it somewhat bifurcates us from the adjacent developments to the west and north. With that said, we still think we're pretty consistent from an entitlement standpoint with those, and we think R3 will allow us to do a nice project, a suitable project that will provide some housing that's affordable but also nice and new to the community. So If you have any questions related to the project, I'm happy to answer them. Appreciate your time. We respectfully request a favorable vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to address the commission? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, reopen the city commission meeting. All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed by the same sign.
Aye.
All right, one opposed. O 2431 passes. O 2445 would read by title only, city attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance number O-24-45, an ordinance amending ordinance 23-25, the 2035 Winter Haven Comprehensive Plan, 2035 Future Land Use Map Series, by revising the future land use map series by assigning neighborhood support future land use to one annex parcel, repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for the administrative correction of scrivener's errors, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. General location, 2400 Avenue E Southwest. The area covered by this request is 0.91 plus or minus acres. Thank you.
Thank you. City manager.
Mayor and Commissioners, the Clausen Trust is the petitioner here, and they're requesting the city assign neighborhood support future land use and commercial highway C3 zoning district to this annexed parcel that contains about 0.91 plus or minus acres and includes a 13,716 square foot storage warehouse building and a 1,210 square foot office building. It was built in 1972. This was annexed earlier this summer in June of 2024. And the proposed end use of the developed property is to be that of a HVAC company. You can see on the image, I don't think we had this this image when we heard this on first reading, but that gives you an indication of what that building looks like. This property is surrounded by single-family residential across Avenue E Southwest to the north, single-family residential across 24th Street Southwest to the east. The CSX railroad tracks line the property on the south, and a warehouse and office building are immediately to the west. The property is developed, so there's no additional demands on public infrastructure expected. Prior to annexation, the Polk County land use for the subject property was residential low 4, RL4. I apologize, there it goes. The requested neighborhood support future land use is consistent with the developed use as it is today and the city designations to the south. What you'll hear in the zoning is that the requested C3 zoning district is consistent with the neighborhood support future land use designation. And there's no direct financial impact to the city. This is a request that was initiated by an application by a private party, thus it's exempt from us having to provide a business impact estimate. Planning Commission did hear this on September 3rd and voted to recommend approval of both requests, and no members of the public spoke. Staffs are on the following conclusions. The assignment of neighborhood support future land use and C3 zoning district is consistent with the developed use and surrounding city designations. Given the relatively shallow depth of this parcel between Avenue E Southwest and the railroad tracks, the subject parcel is not well suited for residential uses. And as the property is already developed, there's no additional demands on public infrastructure anticipated at this time. Staff recommends the City Commission approve Ordinance O24-45 and will follow up with a request for approval of O2446. Thank you.
Thank you, commissioners.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
motion to approve ordinance O-2445.
thank you. I will now close the commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak to O2445 may do so at this time by coming forward, stating your name and address for the record. Now, 5 minutes.
Good evening. For the record, Sarah Case, Next Level Planning and Permitting. My address is 3825 South Florida Avenue, and that is in Lakeland. I'm here representing the Clausen Trust. I was here before you 2 weeks ago for the first reading, and we had some questions and some conversation about this is an interesting piece of property because it's existing, built in the early 70s, and we're surrounded on two sides with the city of Winter Haven, and because it is RL or was, RL4 in the county, it really isn't suitable for residential, and therefore we had discussions with the city, and that's why it came before you for that neighborhood commercial land use and the C3 zoning. So I will stand for any questions, but I would appreciate a vote of approval this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, close the public hearing, reopen the city commission meeting. Any discussion, questions?
Quick question, Eric. Did you have any public comment on the planning commission?
I don't believe we did. I'm checking. No members of the public spoke.
Any other questions? All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed by the same sign. Hearing none, O 2445 is adopted. O 2446, would you read by title only, city attorney?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance number O-24-46, an ordinance amending Chapter 21 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Winter Haven, Florida by assigning Commercial Highway C3 zoning district to an annexed parcel, repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for the administrative correction of scrivener's errors, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. General location, 2400 Avenue East Southwest. The area covered by this request is 0.91 plus or minus acres. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner, since this deals with zoning, can I entertain a motion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
motion to approve ordinance O-24-46 on second reading.
Thank you. I will close the commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak to this ordinance may do so at this time. Seeing none, close the public hearing, reopen the city commission meeting. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed by the same sign. Hearing none, O 2446 is adopted. O 2447, would you read by title only, city attorney?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance number O-24-47, an ordinance amending Chapter 21 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Winter Haven, Florida by amending Plan Unit Development Ordinance O-22-54, providing for the administrative correction of scrivener's errors, repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date. The general location, 6945 Cypress Gardens Boulevard. The area covered by this request is 41.4 plus or minus acres. Thank you.
Thank you. City manager?
Mayor and Commissioners, Advent Health Polk North, Inc. is requesting the city amend Planned Unit Development Ordinance O-22-54. The subject parcel is approximately 41.4 plus or minus acres. This includes the Advent Health Emergency Department and the River Lake Shopping Center. The PD allows for the future development of a hospital building and medical officers. The petitioner is requesting to amend the PUD ordinance to address conditions specifically related to signage. Those are denoted within your fact sheet. An image of what that signage would look like as far as the emergency room and their spire sign is noted on your screen. There are no proposed changes to any of the permitted uses or intensities. It is just pertaining to signage. All public notifications for this have been met. There's no direct financial impact to the city. This request is initiated by an application through a private party or from the private party, so it is thus exempt from the need to provide a business impact estimate. Planning Commission heard this September 3rd, 2024, during their regular meeting, and they voted to recommend approval of this request. There were two members of the public who spoke expressing concerns about drainage issues in the River Lake area and light pollution. Staff has drawn the following conclusion. The increase of monument signs based on the total parcel frontage and permitted access points on Cypress Gardens Boulevard is appropriate. Due to the proposed size of the hospital and the medical campus on a parcel with 2,100 plus or minus feet of frontage, the increase in permitted building signage will improve wayfinding at the hospital and throughout the medical campus. And staff has included conditions related to the proposed spire sign to mitigate any impact from light to residential properties to the north. Staff recommends City Commission approve Ordinance O-24-47 on second and final reading. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Motion to approve ordinance O-2447 on second reading.
Thank you. I will close the city commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak to O-2447 may do so at this time. Seeing none, close the public hearing, reopen the city commission meeting. Is there any discussion?
One quick question for Eric, having to do with brightness on signs. Don't we have some sort of way of policing that, or don't we have some sort of make sure they don't get too bright.
Yeah, so the vast majority of signs on this property will be building signs. There are monument signs out front on the Cypress Gardens Boulevard side. With respect to the sign you see on your screen, we did place a condition in the ordinance that says to prevent any possible light shed on properties to the north where the residential is behind the ER, an opaque screening shall be placed on the northern side of that sign. So the light will not shine that way, it'll shine the other way.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
I have a curiosity question that doesn't actually pertain to the sign, but the hospital. Have we heard any news on when the hospital might be coming along, or how far away that might be?
I don't have a specific timeline. I do know that I've been in a meeting actually just, I believe it was Friday of last week, coordinating with Advent and some other developers in the corridor around possibly cost sharing on lights, future signalizations in the area. A specific timeline didn't come out of that, but it sounded, like we're planning for the hospital to come, yeah.
Because once that goes into, I think the signage will be more, it probably looks like it's big right now, but once the hospital goes in around it, is obviously the signage is going to be needed to ERs at this point and the hospitals over here, so makes sense.
Anyone else?
To what capacity is the ER being used at the present time?
I don't have that answer. I don't know if there's a member from Advent here that might be able to speak to that.
Dr. Campbell.
Good evening. For purposes of your record, my name is Tim Campbell, law firm of Clark Campbell, Lancaster, Workman, and Airth, 500 South Florida Avenue, Lakeland, Florida. I was trying to be quiet back there. But to answer your question, I too don't know their timeline, but I can tell you that they are, from a business perspective, excited about the number of trips and the patients that they've been able to serve. They chose this site and the city of Winter Haven and the south side of the city of Winter Haven because of the growing population. And so they are working on signalization issues about moving up the date of the installation of a signal with other parties. And they are continuing with their design. This request tonight came because once they got the original approvals, they began to design the entire campus, the medical campus. And the architects then figured out that the signage needs weren't exactly what we had originally requested. We appreciate staff's help in getting to where we are tonight. And we will make sure to share with the commission plans when we better know what those are. And we thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Any other questions? All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed by the same sign. Hearing none. O 2447 is adopted. O 2448, would you read by title only, city attorney?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance number O-24-48, an ordinance amending ordinance 23-24, the 2035 Winter Haven Comprehensive Plan by amending the potable water sub-element and sanitary sewer sub-element to address adopted level of service standards for all potable water usage and sanitary sewer treatment, repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for the administrative correction of scrivener's errors, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. Thank you.
Thank you. City manager.
Mayor and Commissioners, we've spoken about this previously during first reading, but based upon a study of our utility system that was commissioned by the Water Department, it was found that the level of service standards contained within our potable water sub-element that address water system design can be reduced from 350 gallons per day per residential unit to 275 gallons per day per residential unit, and that that study also determined the design level of service standard for the sanitary sewer system should be 250 gallons per day per residential unit. These determinations were made through an analysis of per capita water consumption and wastewater treatment over the past several years. The Commission did vote to transmit this request to the Florida Department of Commerce and other state and local agencies for review on August 26, 2024. City, on September 27th of this year, received a letter from Florida Commerce indicating they have no objections to the proposed comprehensive plan changes. Additionally, letters offering no comments or objections have been received from the Florida Department of Environmental Protection and the Southwest Florida Water Management District. No responses have been received from the other reviewing agencies. There's no direct financial impact to the city with this request. This does align with our strategic plan. Most specifically, our infrastructure goal of 3.3 relating to future water resources, as well as the economic sustainability and environmental stewardship strategic pillars. The Planning Commission, at its August 6, 2024 regular meeting, unanimously voted to recommend approval of this request. There were no public comments. Staff recommends the City Commission approve Ordinance 024-48 on second and final reading.
Thank you. Commissioners?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
motion to approve ordinance O-2448 on second reading, public hearing.
Thank you. I will now close the commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak to this ordinance may do so at this time. Seeing none, close the public hearing, reopen the city commission meeting. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed by the same sign. Hearing none, O-2448 is adopted. Commissioners, you have the consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
motion to approve the consent agenda in its entirety.
Thank you. I will now close the commission meeting, open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak to the consent agenda may do so at this time. Seeing none, close the public hearing, reopen the commission meeting. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposes by the same sign? I didn't hear enough ayes. Did I hear all the ayes? Aye. All right, ayes. All right, the consent agenda is adopted. Thank you. We have no resolutions. We have no ordinances first reading. We have no new business. We're down to Commissioner liaison reports. We will start with Commissioner Dassler.
Okay, I actually went and saw the Bee Gees play at Ritz Theater, actually. The Bee Gees were, Dan had one of his groups going on, and they were actually entertaining, so I encourage everybody to continue to support Theater Winter Haven as they bring these new and exciting bands to downtown Winter Haven. Yeah.
Commissioner Dancer, and for the benefit of the group, I have spoken with Dan Chesnick of Theater Winter Haven, and we are working to have him come and give a presentation to the commission, I believe, on November 12th, just to give you an update on some of the things that they have going on since we have brought them on board. So,
Made an appearance at the City of Winter Haven Day. I was going to get in the dunk tank, but thankfully they had the dunk tank covered by everybody, so I was able to walk around and see the festivities, and the crowd was big. I was impressed with how many cars were out there, and kudos to the staff, and I had no idea we had so much equipment and cars and trucks, and pretty much we had it all out there, so it was a very impressive day, and I think it's good that we're doing that, and kudos to the staff and everybody that made that happen. So also had a TDC meeting, and the TDC continues to set new records after the hurricane and other places. Our revenues continuing to come in record numbers, only up about 3% over last year, but still higher. And got a report from Avella, which is a new airline that's flying out of Lakeland Airport now. They've got direct flights from Lakeland now to Puerto Rico, and they've got 7 or 8 different cities now. One's Atlanta. Most of them are smaller, not major cities other than Atlanta, but they're very impressed, very happy with how things are going now and up to this point. And Avella is going to continue to add more cities if the numbers can justify such. So the TDC, of course, committed quite a bit of money to make that airline happen, and we're excited that our investment's paying off there. So also had an urban forestry meeting over, and I was going to tell you, that's really kind of a fun committee, and we talk about how to get our 100,000 trees over the next few years, and so far, we're talking about it. So we haven't come up with a concrete plan, but we're working on it. But the committee enjoys each other, and it's fun to go to it, and I do enjoy that particular committee. So, and also we had an MTAC committee that I was there for just only about 5 minutes, and I had to go to one of these pesky hockey games they keep talking about. So, but I did make an appearance, and I can't really give you a report because I wasn't there for all of it. So, all right, anyway, that's it for me.
Thank you. Commissioner Mercer.
Okay, I went to the Winter Haven High School homecoming parade and did the leadership Winter Haven City Luncheon. I guess it was City Day for them. And did the 6:10 event kickoff reception at the Ritz. And also the Police Chief Monroe ceremony reception. And I spent some time with the Police Pension Board and the Firefighters Pension Board. Attended the hands-on event, and like you said, it was, they even had airplanes, and so the kids were really enjoying that. And also, thanks to staff, they really had a lot of different areas that the kids, could participate in. And I saw our city manager, but in the dunk tank, and it didn't work, so I think he got lucky.
We got it fixed.
You got it
Get
fixed?
wet? He didn't get wet?
Well, he got wet.
He got wet.
wet.
So, but anyway, the memorial service I attended for Velma Daniels, I'd heard her name a lot, and so at the library. So she must have been a character. The way they talked, they told stories, and so.
I knew her well. She was a character.
Is that it?
So that was it.
Commissioner Dollison?
Good evening. I attended the Hall of Fame, Winter Haven High School Hall of Fame, which is really their first inaugural, I guess. And just really enjoyed every aspect of that. The presentation was done very well. The challenge, I think, is so many great talents and athletes that have come out of this area, but to have known a lot of them was truly just a treat just to be able to be a part of that. Also was there for the swearing in of our new police chief. Very well attended. I was really impressed by that. Many of the community came out to support our new chief, and we're excited about his opportunity to serve our city. I've worked with Chief Monroe before. He actually came to Winter Haven. We had many opportunities to work in concert to try and deal with some real substantive issues relating to youth arrest and things of that nature. He was always willing to enter in dialogue and have a candid conversation, but also about getting things done and getting things accomplished with regards to those issues. So I know he brings that to the city, and that's exciting to know that we have that caliber of a individual who will, I think, really do an excellent job motivating our current department to do even greater things than we have seen in the past. So to our new chief, God bless you, and we continue to support you and look forward to working with you even more in the future. Was able to attend the October, what do we call it downtown?
Oktoberfest?
Oktoberfest. Yeah, I get all these October things. We have several things at the church too. And, but it was nice. And I didn't fill my beer ticket, so I should have got to give it to somebody, but I did eat the hot dog and the other foods that they had. It was really great. And good conversations with several people walking around. Very festive, very nice event, and just enjoyable to be downtown in such a wonderful event. That's all I have.
All right. Mayor Pro Tem Yates?
Thank you. Yeah. So I attended the Touch a Truck as well event. Of course, I've got a 3-year-old, so I'm a little bit more impacted on those kind of events these days, but he absolutely loved it. The airplanes, a little disappointed that the helicopter got called away on a call, but certainly understandable. But loved the tractors, loved everything, and I was impressed, when I pulled in and got to a parking spot, it was like the traffic just kept coming and coming and coming, and, it was all moved right along and great parking, so the staff just did a tremendous job on that event. I think it's awesome. The weather was awesome. Couldn't ask for any better weather. Great to do it at the airport. Brings a whole nother aspect of that event. hard to have the tree coverage at the airport like you do downtown, but certainly it was neat to be out there and got the planes taken off and landing. So that was a great event. Thank you for everyone's hard work on that. Also attended the Winter Haven High School Hall of Fame event. We've got some athletes that have come through Winter Haven, and it's going to be hard to, I think, beat out that first class, but I think there's still a lot more athletes to come that, are certainly deserving to be recognized and be a Hall of Fame member. But also the coaches that were recognized at the event and the impacts that those coaches had on those kids' lives, and a couple of the coaches impacted my life as well. So that was just incredible to be able to honor those individuals, and just really glad that Principal Williams got that event off the ground, and I don't see that one slowing down. So that was just a tremendous event, and so kudos to Principal Williams. I also attended the swearing in for Police Chief Vance, and yeah, super awesome to see a crowd like that. Shows just how well respected of an individual he is, and I just really look forward to seeing what his progression is and the success that he's going to bring to the Winter Haven Police Department. So I know that we have a great winner there. So I'm excited to see the police department grow under his leadership. Also attended the Leadership Winter Haven Luncheon. What's the class number now? 35 still the best class ever, but so up to 44 now, and got a great group. Knew a lot of those individuals in there, went to school with a few of them. So I think that's just almost as good as City U. But no, we are blessed in Winter Haven to have two really cool opportunities for individuals to go through the chamber side and then also on the municipal side. Also attended the homecoming parade. The Letterman jacket still fits, and it was actually cool enough to wear it the other night. The wind coming off of Lake Silver was really cooled things down there at the end of the parade, but that's just a special event, and to do the parade and end at Lake Silver and have a ski show and fireworks, and just other communities just can't even compete with that. So that's just a tremendous thing that we do every year, and glad that we were able to attend that, because I think the first originally scheduled got canceled because of the hurricane, and we had a commission meeting that night. So glad that worked out. Not glad we had a hurricane, but glad we were able to attend. Also, as far as the Ritz goes, Taylor Swift is coming to the Ritz, and not exactly, but quasi.
There's a Swiftie show. There's a Swiftie show.
The wife's like, why didn't you get us tickets? Why can't we go see Taylor Swift? And, it's like, well, we're going to go see Taylor Swift now. So at a fraction of the cost too. So we're excited I'm excited to save the money and go to the Ritz instead of go to Miami or New Orleans. So look forward to that event. And so I did have one question for staff. Mosquitoes, gosh, they are bad. They're worse than I recall in the last several years. I know the county is starting their aerial coverage and spraying, and I don't know how close that's going to come to Winter Haven, but are our trucks rolling? Where are we at with that?
So we do not do any mosquito control. That is all handled by the county.
We used to, didn't we?
We've never done from the city standpoint, but we can certainly reach out to our colleagues at Polk County and see what they have on their schedule and where their target areas are, get some insights from them and report back to you. I agree that I think we're just tastier than we used to be.
A lot of water hanging around.
The storms definitely, I think.
I would say that, and certainly the storms with the amount of water that you have that has pooled in certain areas, that is prime breeding ground. So always tell people if you have, containers around your home that have water from rain in them, dump them out because they just love that. But I'm sure that in Polk County, where we've had a lot of water in the past 30 days, we're probably seeing some increased activity.
I'm not looking forward to Halloween. I think we bought every citronella candle that the store had so far, so we're looking for more, but, well, that's interesting, so, okay, well, yeah, please, hopefully lobby for us to get more mosquito spraying in Winter Haven. But that's all I have, thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you. I'll go fast. Started my day en route and went to a major from a graduate of the Winter Haven High School, deceased, and went to his burial at Bushnell at the military cemetery. I was worried that I wasn't going to get back in time, but I did. Attended the homecoming parade for Winter Haven High School, and also attended the football game that night. Very good event, except we were on the losing end. Attended the Winter Haven Hall of Fame, the first class, and was thankful that my brother, Otis Birdsong, was one of the inductees. Attended the fall roundtable for the NTBA that was put on by the 610 Corporation downtown. Attended the Central Florida Health Gala. Attended our pension board meeting, and man, we had some good returns on our investments. Of course, we got two people up here that know about those and know that we should have done good, right? So that was very, very good news. Attended the 50-year celebration for Tri-County and Lakeland, which was a very good event, and went to the Leadership Winter Haven luncheon and was able to wear Leadership 22. I was able to wear my shirt from 22 years ago because I was Leadership Class 22. It sort of swallowed me up because I'm not as big as I was then. That shirt was an extra large. So 22 years ago, I was wearing an extra large shirt. I'm just a regular large right now. But at any rate, it swallowed me up, but nobody really laughed at me, so I was happy about that. Attended Chief Monroe's swearing in. Also had a little conversation with Brian Beasley from the county, and they purchased that property that they had been trying, that acreage.
Mhm.
They finally purchased it, which is a big deal for us.
Where, out on 27?
Yes.
It's the Mann property that's on both sides of US 27 north of Cypress Gardens Boulevard.
It's probably a big lift, wasn't
I
it?
think it's 1,300 acres.
13, yes. Yeah, they've been working on it. I know now for over a year and a half, trying to purchase, or maybe longer than that. Attended the Central Florida Healthcare, I think I mentioned that, gala, and that's pretty much it. City Attorney,
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Commission, nothing this evening. Thank you.
City Manager.
Mayor and Commissioners, just a couple comments if I could. First of all, thank you for your engagement and your support of the Hands on Haven event. Katrina Hill and her staff facilitate that event, and it comes together with tremendous amount of staff support from all those different departments, and it's very impressive to see those individuals out there giving up a day of their weekend to showcase the things that they love about working for the city. It was nice to see who we affectionately now refer to as DJ Popo, Vance Monroe. So I'm not real sure what else he does in his spare time, but he's a heck of a DJ. So City U, that graduation this evening, those were 30 individuals that went through that program, and I'm ever so impressed with the feedback we get and just some of the written comments that came in about how grateful they are for that program. That is just an outstanding effort. Again, so many staff are involved in that. Katrina leads the charge on that, but I know the commission's as proud of that as we are, and it is a game changer. That is creating ambassadors and educating people on what we do here. And to see some of those individuals, I just signed off on paperwork this afternoon to hire somebody that was a graduate of one of our CityU classes. You, I think 2 meetings ago, appointed one of those individuals this evening to the Urban Forestry Advisory Board. We have them involved in all kinds of stuff. So, great program. Along those same lines, I had the pleasure of attending a Chamber of Commerce board meeting today, and along with Betsy Cleveland, I see Bruce Lyon here, got some tremendous feedback from one of our colleagues about the experience they had with the Leadership Winter Haven Day and the enthusiasm that your staff has and the passion they have for their roles in serving the public. And that was on a Wednesday where just a week prior we were dealing with a hurricane. So that says a lot, and I just can't say enough about the amazing staff that we have here, and I know you all recognize that, but they don't quit. They just keep going and going and going, and they do an exceptional job. I did receive a call today from our friends in Auburndale to remind me that this weekend is the Auburndale Winter Haven High School football game. They wanted to extend an invitation to any of our commissioners who wish to travel to Auburndale for that game Friday evening. So if you will let us know if that is so desired, we will have Amanda Joe make those known to the folks in Auburndale so that they can welcome you and recognize you, give you a nice place to sit. It was also suggested that maybe there would be a friendly wager between the cities. Not from me, I'm just throwing this out there, that the losing team has to don the hat of the winning team at a city commission meeting and be photographed as such. So I just throw that out. I don't know, I don't follow high school football, I apologize, but if it's anything like my college football right now, I don't know that I would take the bet, but that's entirely up to you, and we can pass that along, whatever your preference may be.
I think I'm going to decline because I already have a picture with an Auburndale cap sitting up here.
I went to Winter Haven, and that's worse than Florida State, Florida. I don't know if I can put an Auburndale hat on.
Okay, so that's noted. The mayor had mentioned the National Town Builders Association. I don't know how many of you were aware that that was happening here in Winter Haven. That was a fall roundtable of people that are involved in redevelopment and development and investment and all kinds of awesome things in cities across this country. They had the fall roundtable for that at the Ritz Theater. There was a local host committee that helped bring that here, and the mayor gave some outstanding comments at their opening. I had the pleasure of sitting on a panel of some individuals on Friday morning. Winter Haven continues to draw a lot of attention for what's happening here and the way that you all get it done. So that was another feather in the cap for Winter Haven to be able to host that. And the last thing I'll note is I had sent an email to you earlier. I will be out of the office tomorrow to attend a funeral for a family member, but I will be back into the office on Wednesday, and MJ will be available to answer any issues that you may have that come up. So that's all.
All right, thank you. Assistant City Manager,
Nothing this evening, thank you, sir.
City Clerk.
Just wanted to remind you that this Friday is the Employee Diversity and Inclusivity Luncheon for the Hispanic Heritage Month, and we look forward to having everyone there. That's all I
I want
have.
you to know that I love coming, but I will not
Yes,
be in
you'll
town
be
on
out of
Friday,
town.
so
I saw that on the
I'm gonna miss it.
calendar.
Can you fix me up the go plate?
Put it in the fridge.
The Deputy City Clerk is not back there. Emergency matters not received for the agenda. Motion to adjourn. We stand